Imagine the scene, will you? 2:17 a.m. The Colorado night, so still you can hear the blood rushing in your ears. The Milky Way smeared like war paint across a velvet sky. And me, Sergeant Ethan Brooks, third-generation iron-willed grunt, standing ankle-deep in the gravel driveway that still bears the tire grooves of my dad's '89 Ford pickup, the one he drove until the cancer made him too weak to shift gears. My duffel bag thuds to the ground, forgotten, because right there, under the porch light that Dad wired himself with hands cracked from 35 years of framing houses, a stranger, some guy in a Patagonia vest, is wrestling a Dyson vacuum up the 3 steps Grandpa poured in '74 after coming home from Chosen with frostbite and a Purple Heart. Behind him, a little girl, maybe 7, clutches a stuffed narwhal and stares at me like I'm the ghost. And I laugh. God help me. I laugh until my ribs ache and the sound ricochets off the cottonwoods like incoming fire, because the lease agreement in my fist, still warm from the printer at Fort Carson Legal, says Madam President Victoria Langford has been cashing $3,200 a month, crisp 20s funneled straight into her manicured claws, while I was learning the exact pitch of an IED whistle in Kandahar. She forged abandonment papers, claimed the Brooks family line just evaporated like morning fog, and turned the bedroom where I hid report cards under the mattress into somebody's VRBO, listing titled asterisk, Cozy Ranch Retreat, Pet Friendly. Asterisk. I taste copper, rage so pure it's metallic, because Victoria doesn't know it yet, but she just lit a fuse wired straight to 8 combat veterans who owe me their lives and are about to burn their leave chits to come home and remind suburbia what happens when you weaponize paperwork against a soldier. Let me paint the canvas wider, give you the scent of pine pitch and motor oil that is the Brooks legacy. My grandfather, Master Sergeant Harlan Brooks, came back from Korea, missing 2 toes, and carrying a bronze star he never hung on the wall because medals don't keep the wolves out, son, nails do. He built this ranch with Douglas fir beams he milled himself, every joint a love letter to the country that tried to kill him. My dad, Sergeant First Class Nathan Brooks, did 2 tours in Vietnam, came home with shrapnel in his hip and a laugh that could defuse a bar fight. He paid the place off swinging a hammer for Pikes Peak construction, taught me that a man's word is the only currency that never inflates, and when the cancer finally pinned him to a hospice bed, he gripped my hand with fingers like twisted rebar and whispered, "Keep the light on, Ethan. Keep the light on." I did. Auto pay for the mortgage that was already zero, utilities, taxes, and yes, the $187 quarterly HOA dues that showed up 5 years ago when the neighborhood voted to enhance community standards. I signed the covenant with a ballpoint pen in a tent outside Bagram, figuring it was the cost of keeping the coyotes at bay. Then Victoria Langford happened. 54, blonde bob sharp enough to slice bread. White Lexus GX with Realtor One plates that scream midlife crisis, voice like honey laced with arsenic. She lives in a $925,000 faux Tuscan monstrosity 2 cul-de-sacs over, married to Dr. Philip Langford, a periodontist who probably charges extra to smile. Elected herself HOA president in a meeting where the only opposition was a golden retriever who barked at her slideshow. The first shot across the bow was a certified letter, $2,700 special assessment for a wellness pavilion with yoga deck and koi pond. My 1,900 square foot ranch got the same bill as the 5,000 square foot palaces. I fired off an email from a satellite uplink, sweat dripping onto the keyboard. Deployment pays $4,800 a month before taxes. Can we spread this? Her reply, 3 days later, typed in papyrus font like a wedding invitation to my own funeral. Military obligations do not supersede community obligations, Mr. Brooks. Payment in full, or the board will pursue all remedies. I thought I had it locked down. Mrs. Elena Delgado, 75, survivor of Tiananmen Square, still sneaking me homemade empanadas with chimichurri that could resurrect the dead, promised to mow the lawn, scare off raccoons, keep the tomatoes from committing suicide. Then the violation notices started, $75 a day for grass that dared grow to 4.1 inches, $75 for a mailbox hinge painted eggshell instead of ivory, $75 because Mrs. Delgado's grandson parked his Tacoma in my driveway for 42 minutes during a baby shower. Compound interest on suburban sins, $1,275 a day, $38,250 in 3 months, more than my annual combat pay. I'm on a video call, 112-degree heat, the kind that makes your eyeballs sweat. When Mrs. Delgado whispers, Victoria stood right there, hands on hips like she owned the dirt, told some realtor your house was aesthetically non-compliant and dragging down comps. Aesthetically non-compliant. The house where Dad taught me to swing a hammer straight, where Grandpa carved HB 1953 into the garage beam with a bayonet, where I learned that real men measure twice, curse once, and always bring the beer cold. That's when the war went personal, with the email that turned my blood to liquid nitrogen. 23 violation notices, $1,275 daily, $38,250 total, and a tear streak call from Mrs. Delgado. They served me trespass papers. Ethan said I can't water your tomatoes anymore. Trespass. For keeping a soldier's home alive. I invoke the Service Members Civil Relief Act. Freeze everything. Think I've won a skirmish. Then Victoria drops a 52-page property stewardship contract, allegedly signed by Dad 6 months before the chemo stole his signature hand. Coffee-stained, laser-printed perfection, notarized by a ghost. My father, who couldn't lift a pen by then, suddenly granting Victoria *** emergency dominion over his kingdom. I smell the forgery from Kandahar, but smelling and proving are different beasts. She hires her sister's husband Ronnie, the lawn guy Whitaker, to maintain the property, $500 a week for a riding mower and a smirk. My $9,000 savings evaporate like morning mist. Other deployed families whisper the same nightmare. Victoria has a playbook: hit soldiers when they're overseas, bleed them dry, by the distress sale for pennies. The lien arrives, $21,000. Foreclosure clock ticking, realtor vultures circling with measuring tapes. Mrs. Delgado sends grainy photos. Victoria leading tours, discussing rental upside, smiling like she's already counting commission. I'm done playing defense. The platoon descends, the trap springs, the sabotage, peak tension. 300 words, expanded platoon personalities, digital warfare, sabotage sequence, moral gray zones. 14 months in, I'm choking on powdered eggs in the chow hall, the kind that taste like regret and cardboard, when Mrs. Delgado calls, voice trembling like aspen leaves in a mountain storm. Ethan, there's a moving truck, a family, kids, they're carrying furniture into your house. Victoria handed them keys, said you abandoned it. Keys. To the house where Dad's ghost still lingers in the scent of Hoppa's No. 9 gun oil. I hit the ground in Colorado Springs on emergency leave, boots still warm from the C-17 tarmac, eyes red from 36 hours in the air. Military Jag hooks me up with Captain Amelia Reyes, civilian pitbull in Louboutin heels, who laughs so hard at Victoria's rental contract, she nearly snorts coffee. Ethan, this lease is unicorn poop, no board vote. No owner consent, straight-up theft. Subpoenas fly, bank records bleed secrets. Victoria skimming $52,000 in admin fees. Ronnie's Landscaping LLC unlicensed. $6,400 security deposit already spent on Victoria's Carnival cruise to Cozumel. But the rabbit hole burrows deeper. Amelia spreads county filings across her desk like tarot cards of doom. Your HOA? Never incorporated. Victoria Langford has been running a 5-year protection racket with 0 legal teeth. Every fine, every lien, every forged paper, legally weightless as dandelion fluff. She's targeted 4 other military families, stolen 3 homes, pocketed north of $450,000. FBI Special Agent Marcus Carter, no relation, swears he's the handsome one, wants in. We let Victoria keep swinging the shovel. Every new violation, another felony count. My platoon, 8 battle-hardened lunatics, burns leave to fly home. Meet the crew. Staff Sergeant Wrench Malone, grease under his nails, can rebuild a Humvee transmission with a Leatherman and spite. Specialist Code, Priya Patel, hacked Taliban comms for fun, now cracking Victoria's Ring doorbell like a piñata. Corporal Hammer Declan O'Connell, carpenter who can price flood damage to the penny and swing a framing hammer like Thor. Sergeant Doc Sofia Vasquez, medic turned forensic ink analyst, proves Dad's signature. Ink wasn't invented until 2022. Staff Sergeant Com, Tarek Washington, coordinates media like fire support. PFC Demo Kai Chong, post-army electrician, wires hidden cams that catch Ronnie muttering, make it look accidental. Sergeant Logie Rosa Lopez organizes supply chains in her sleep, now moving the tenant family to a safe house with U-Haul precision. We set the trap. I call Victoria, voice cracked like defeated concrete. Make me an offer. I'm done. She purrs. Ronnie's looking for an investment. How's $18,000 below appraisal sound? One party consent state. Baby, every greedy syllable recorded in glorious HD. Then the sabotage. 2:07 a.m. Ronnie in a black hoodie, crowbar glinting under the moon, smashing the picture window Dad installed the week I was born, flooding the basement with a garden hose, spray painting condemn this on the garage door like a toddler with a vendetta. Our hidden cams catch every grunt, every curse, every, Victoria said make it look like wear and tear. Victoria files emergency condemnation, stages photos with Home Depot buckets to look like long-term neglect, bribes the building inspector with a Starbucks gift card and a promise of Nuggets tickets. We watch. Wait, let the noose tighten. She escalates. Fake PTSD rumors on Nextdoor, forged CID reports claiming I'm trafficking MREs to Mexico, hired actors at city council weeping about my threats, with scripts written in Comic Sans. My career dangles by a thread until Army investigators trace every lie to her Comcast IP. Peak tension hits when Victoria threatens the tenant family, Mr. and Mrs. Rahman, new immigrants from Bangladesh, with fabricated IC reports if they don't lie about structural issues. Mrs. Rahman cries on my porch, clutching her daughter's narwhal, begging me not to make them homeless. That's the line. We move. The community center showdown, catharsis, legacy, moral reckoning. 1,000 words, expanded showdown, emotional closure, legislative ripple, ethical debate. The Valor Ridge Community Center smells like burnt coffee, desperation, and the ozone of justice about to strike. 220 bodies crammed shoulder to shoulder, live cameras from KOA, KKTV, Fox 21, C-SPAN sniffing around like wolves. Victoria struts in, powder pink power suit, briefcase stuffed with fairy tales, opens with a smile sharp enough to shave with. We must protect property values from transient military elements who treat our neighborhood like a barracks. The room freezes. My platoon, front row, dress blues starched to knife edges, metals clinking like wind chimes of war. Amelia stands, projector flaring to life, county seals, bank transfers, for $127,000 vanished, Ronnie's crowbar in 4K, Victoria's voice on tape bragging about cleaning up undesirable housing stock, while sipping rose on her Ring camera. Gasps, shouts, chair scraping. Victoria bolts, Deputy Maria Santos, Doc's sister, badge gleaming, blocks the exit. Victoria Langford, you are under arrest for wire fraud, mail fraud, conspiracy, bribery, SCRA violations. Handcuffs sing their metallicum. Cameras feast. 6 months later, Victoria, 8 years federal, $2.6 million restitution. Ronnie, 3 years for conspiracy. Notary, license revoked. My house, restored plank by plank, platoon weekends, cold cores, laughter echoing where sabotage once bled. Dad's hidden letter behind the workbench. Fight the good fight, son. I do. Neighborhood forms Valor Ridge Protection Association. Me as president, ironclad deployed service safeguards, transparent finances, zero tolerance for discrimination. Colorado passes Brooks Act, 12 states follow. I start Sentinel Foundation, 900+ families saved, GI Bill Law School, dating Amelia. She outdrank Wrench at the VFW. Annual Liberty Barbecue, Rahman family brings biryani, Mrs. Delgado brings tears and empanadas. Blue Spruce Memorial for Dad grows strong. Closure. I stand on the porch Dad built, flags snapping in mountain wind, knowing the light stays on, knowing bullies break when good men refuse to bend. Now the question that keeps me up some nights was every tactic we used, every recorded call, every hidden camera, every viral post, every moment we let Victoria dig deeper just to bury her. Was it justice or vengeance wearing camouflage? Where's the line between righteous fury and becoming the monster you hunt? Did we protect the innocent Or did we just trade one tyranny for another with better PowerPoint slides? Drop your take below, because the fight's never really over. It just changes battlefields.